I can tell you in San Francisco, the Karens are suddenly like, well, what's going on? Like, people are pooping on my doorstep, and this is not cool. So people really are losing their tolerance when it's happening on their doorstep.
There's a wild viral video. I don't have it pulled up, but it's a lady who's like reaching her hand through a smashed window trying to take stuff out of a store.
That is crazy. In Sacramento?
Yeah, in Sacramento.
That's nuts.
And then the cops ride by and stop and look at her, and then they just leave.
Oh,
they look at her for a minute, and they just keep going.
Now, I don't. The video in the video, I don't know if she smashes the window, but she's like rifling her through the window, grabbing stuff, and then she walks away from the stairs and is like grabbing stuff in the front of the building, moving bricks, and the cops just look at her and then leave. No question. Just okay. She's good. Not getting involved.
Yep.
You said in the intro that voting for Trump for some people is life or for some people is life or death. I think for this country, it's life or death.
That's what I meant to say, is that we are every day seeing things we took for granted completely eroded. I'm seeing the way that judges predictably used to rule. Just they're going the opposite direction for purely political reasons. And so, the rule of law is eroding on a daily basis in our country.
Well, this is crazy. There's that Apple River, like we're jumping all over the place, but there was that Apple River story in Wisconsin. You see that one? Mm-hmm. I was listening to Law of Self-Defense. He's been on the show. And he said, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Forgive me. If you're an older guy with a pacemaker, you're surrounded by a bunch of people screaming at you, attacking you, you have a right to defend yourself. And I'm thinking to myself, well, then why is he going to prison? Why did a judge convict him? Why did a jury or a judge or whoever convict him? I just see more and more, I'm not a lawyer, but it looks to me, based on what I'm seeing in the courts, that it feels like this country is rapidly devolving into people. I've described this among the political class. The Titanic has hit the iceberg, so they're rushing to steal all the fine china they can and get into a lifeboat and leave before people realize the ship is sinking. And so I see what appears to be judges where they're just either hyper partisan, totally on board with whatever lie or whatever, like everything against Trump, or outright just don't know, don't care, justice doesn't matter, just get in my courtroom, bang the gavel, you're done.
Yeah, well, what you're actually seeing is, even before that, it's the prosecutors. So over the last 2 decades, Soros has managed to purchase the prosecutors in major cities throughout the United States, including in places you wouldn't have expected. And the net result of that is that they usually ignore crime that affects most of us, and then they selectively prosecute crime for political purposes, to shame people, to change the outcome of people's behavior. You're seeing that in Alvin Bragg's case this week in New York. You're seeing it in Philadelphia. You're seeing it in Wisconsin. I mean, where we're going to be having the RNC meeting, the National Convention in Milwaukee, is that kind of prosecutorial setup. So you wonder, if people attack us, if Antifa attacks people going to the convention, who is going to get prosecuted? Because I can guarantee you some of them are going to fight back. And
we're planning on being at the RNC, but the DNC is in Chicago, and I wouldn't. There's nothing that would convince me to go to Chicago during the DNC.
You saw the video from over the weekend. It was activists in Chicago learning how to say "Death to America, Death to Israel" in Farsi.
Yep.
At a meeting that was designed to teach everyone how to disrupt the DNC.
I mean, look, that's the other big story. I'm like trying to get through all these stories in the intro to the show. We had waves of pro-Palestine and some pro-Hamas protesters shutting down bridges and airports all across the country
today. It was a day of action.
Oh, man.
And I think it was, I saw something about how it might have been funded by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard or whatever.
Well, that would be crazy.
Yeah, isn't that sort of nuts?
But I mean, we're 7.5 minutes into the first segment. We've gone from National Guardsman shoots illegal immigrant to crime in the streets. Now we're criminal prosecutions, and now Hamas and Iranian funded protests in the United States. Jeez, what happened this weekend? It's like a switch was flicked.